So I'm going to close my application, and let's go back to my project folder, and I want to add some audio clips. I had a teammate of mine record some audio clips, and we're going to use those. Now for best practices, I want to put my audio clips in a separate folder. I'm going to right click here, create a new folder, and I'm going to click it to rename it. I'm going to put all my audio here. Now when I right click audio and say add existing item, anything that I add will be put into the audio folder. Now you're welcome to use your own audio clips, but I've got a handful of them if you want to use them in the Lesson 2 folder. I'm going to select all these and open them. Now all of my audio clips have been added to my project, so I can start working with them. Now the first thing you need to do with an audio clip is to create a media timeline for it. That sounds complicated, but all I really need to do is double click it, and one is created for me. You'll see down at the bottom, now I have a media element named Great Wave. It got that obviously from the name of the file. It's created a new timeline for me, Great_Wave, and it even created a window-loaded event trigger to go ahead and start that audio immediately. So if I press play, great, you'll hear that audio clip played, and when I press F5, great, you'll hear the audio clip played immediately. Now in this case, that's not what we want, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that event trigger. Now let's take a look at where we are. I'm currently editing a timeline, specifically Great_Wave, so if I were to add another audio clip into my scene, it would think that I want to add it to the currently selected timeline. My playhead is at 1.2 seconds, so if I added another audio clip, it would also add it so that it started 1.2 seconds into this audio clip. That's not what I want. I want each one of these to be in their own timeline so that I can start them or stop them however I wish. To do that, I need to switch my timeline back to the default and add the next audio clip. Let's go ahead and add Very Good. So now if I look at my timelines, I have one timeline for Great Wave and one for Very Good Wave. Just like before, it created a window-loaded event trigger to start this timeline for me. So let me switch back to the default and get rid of that event trigger. Now you'll notice I am being specific about deleting that event trigger each time. The reason for that, when Blend adds any audio or video clip to the artboard, it will automatically look for the first storyboard that is scheduled to play as soon as the application begins. This is a built-in behavior, and if you don't want that, you need to make sure to delete that window-loaded event trigger each time. If you need to keep your window-loaded event trigger, you'll need to manually create your timeline before you add the media element. So for instance, I could press plus here to create the new timeline, type bad to create a timeline for my bad event, and now double-click the bad wave file, and that one has been assigned to this timeline. So when we don't have a timeline selected, Blend has got built-in behaviors to put your audio clips and video clips into newly created timelines, or into existing timelines under specific situations. But you can always override all of that behavior by having the timeline that you want your audio clip inserted into as a currently activated timeline.